The falling leaf, fallen leaf, don't give up. The wind was sharp that November evening in New York. Dry leaves chased each other across the cracked sidewalks, spinning, flying, and then falling defeated, silent, fragile. Among those leaves, one clung stubbornly to the branch of a nearly bare maple tree outside a small, dimly lit diner. Inside the diner sat Rafiq Malik, a 47-year-old Pakistani immigrant who had come to America 20 years ago with a suitcase, a heart full of dreams, and the fire of survival burning in his chest. But tonight, he was slumped against the window, his eyes fixed on that stubborn leaf trembling against the wind. His coffee had gone cold, untouched. Life had not been kind to him lately. Rafiq once worked 2 jobs, saved every dollar, and bought a yellow cab license when New York still allowed it. He drove day and night, building a modest living for his wife and 2 children back in Karachi. His dream was simple: bring them here, give his children the American education he never had, and watch them grow under brighter skies. But the city changed. Uber and Lyft swallowed his cab business. Debt piled up. His landlord raised the rent. His back, aching from years of long drives, often betrayed him. And just last month, his wife called from Karachi, her voice heavy with something worse than bad news. Their eldest son, Ayan, had been arrested in a protest gone violent. They say he was just standing there, but the police don't care, she cried. We need money for lawyers. What will we do? That night, Rafiq had smashed his fist against the steering wheel of his cab until the horn screamed into the night. Since then, despair clung to him like his shadow. The diner door creaked open, snapping him from his thoughts. A young man, maybe 21, shuffled in, his hoodie pulled tight against the cold. His face was pale, lips cracked. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He sat 2 stools away at the counter, ordered nothing, just stared at the floor. The waitress, an older woman named Martha, frowned but didn't chase him out. She knew the look desperation had a smell, and she'd been working long enough to recognize it. Rafiq glanced at the boy again. His fingers tapped nervously on the counter. Something about his eyes reminded Rafiq of his son Ayan, restless, wounded, angry at a world that didn't listen. Suddenly, the boy muttered under his breath, I can't do this anymore. His hand slipped inside his hoodie pocket. Rafiq's heart froze. He saw the outline of something metallic. In that instant, the diner blurred, the hum of the fridge, the sizzling of the grill, Martha's humming, everything drowned in silence. Rafiq knew that shape. It was a gun. Beta. Rafiq whispered, his voice trembling. He hadn't planned to speak, but the words escaped him like a prayer. The boy looked up, startled. His hand still gripped the gun, but he didn't pull it out. His eyes met Rafiq's, wild, broken, filled with pain. You don't know me, the boy said hoarsely. Don't try to stop me. I don't need to know you, Rafiq replied softly, leaning forward. I know that look. I've seen it in the mirror. Martha froze behind the counter, her eyes widening as she realized what was happening. She silently reached for the phone, but Rafiq raised a hand slightly, signaling her to wait. The boy's lips quivered. Everything's gone. College kicked me out, my mom's sick, bills are crushing us. I tried, man. I really tried. But I'm done. Nobody cares. Rafiq swallowed hard. His chest tightened, not just out of fear, but recognition. He had whispered those very words into his pillow nights ago. He pointed toward the window, toward the stubborn leaf still clinging to the tree branch outside. "Do you see that?" The boy frowned, confused. "That leaf," Rafiq said, his voice thick with emotion. "It should have fallen hours ago. The wind is beating it, the cold is freezing it, but it's still holding on. Why? Because somewhere deep inside, even a leaf wants to live a little longer. Beta, you are not weaker than a leaf." The boy blinked, his breathing heavy. His hand trembled inside his hoodie. "You think nobody cares?" Rafiq continued, his eyes glistening. "Maybe the world doesn't. But I care. Right now, in this moment, I care. Because I know what it feels like to be crushed, forgotten, invisible. And I'm begging you, don't give up. Not like this." The diner felt like a stage. Time slowed, every heartbeat loud in the silence. Martha's hand hovered over the phone. The boy's hand gripped the gun tighter, then looser, then tighter again. Finally, he whispered, almost like a child. "Why do you care about me? I'm nobody to you." Rafiq's throat ached. "Because I couldn't save my son," he said, his voice breaking. "But maybe I can save you." The boy's eyes widened. Tears brimmed, and his hand slipped out of the hoodie pocket. The gun clattered softly onto the counter, black and heavy against the stainless steel. Martha gasped. Rafiq exhaled shakily, as if he had been holding his breath for years. The boy covered his face with his hands, sobbing. Not the angry, loud sobs of rage, but the quiet, broken sobs of someone who had carried too much for too long. Rafiq stood, walked over, and placed a trembling hand on the boy's shoulder. "You are not alone, Beta. Not tonight." Police came later, quietly, after Martha called them once the danger had passed. They took the gun but not the boy, promising to get him help. Before they left, the boy looked back at Rafiq, whispering, "Thank you, for seeing me." Rafiq just nodded, unable to speak. His chest felt lighter, but his heart still ached with memories of Ian across the ocean, locked in a cell. He stepped outside into the cold night. The wind had grown stronger. He looked up at the maple tree. The leaf was gone. But instead of despair, a strange peace washed over him. Maybe the leaf had fallen but not before showing him the meaning of holding on. He whispered into the night, as if speaking to both the boy and his son, "Don't give up. Even when everything tells you to, don't." And with that, Rafiq pulled his coat tighter around him, and walked into the city lights, not with answers, not with miracles, but with a small, stubborn hope. Just like the falling leaf.